2018 preseason fantasy football show.
Basketball!
Break
into that cat booze for me, Chad.
Yes, indeed. Well, that pussy wine.
Welcome back. It has been too long.
$5.
Much too long.
Draft day. September 1st, Saturday, September 1st at the Captain Cook Hotel.
Be there or go fuck yourselves.
Fill me up with some of that pussy wine.
Especially Jesper. Get your ass over here. I don't care how many miles separate us. Get your ass back to the draft.
Does that smell like tuna to you?
I'm always willing to
Does
smell
that smell like chloroform to you?
What a glorious year this is going to be, as I am drafting first.
Well, right now you're drafting first. I understand that pick is on the market.
For an acceptable offer, I'd like 2 2s for it.
Well, I have 0 2s, but I'd be willing to swap firsts with you.
3 3s?
I only have 1. Well, we can talk more about this later, but I have a... based on previous sellings of the first draft pick, I think I have something that would be mutually acceptable.
Oh yeah? What do you got for me, Sam? Interesting. Let's go over that draft order real quick. Right here.
I only saw 1 card.
I'm first. This
I
guy's
only
second.
saw 1 card.
Jesper, not here, is third.
All right.
Shu is fourth.
However, Jesper has Shua's first round draft pick. So Jesper will be drafting 3rd and 4th.
Damn.
That's fucked.
Which is actually really good for Josh because that means he's not going to have to reach for Des Bryant and he can just take him to the 2nd round like he probably would have anyway.
When he finally picks a team.
How do you end up getting?
So we got Shawn in 5. We have Burger in the 6. Sam is 7.
Woo!
No looking at your cards.
Chris is 8. Pat is 9. And then, of course, taking up last is Troy
$3.
with the 10th and subsequently 11th pick.
Interestingly, this will be the very first time in league history that Troy has drafted in the 10 spot.
That's very true.
Really?
Troy, do you have any thoughts on that matter? How are you feeling about drafting last, getting the double tap?
Check.
Wow, pulling the old man move. I'm gonna bet $2.
All right, Troy is distracted with gambling.
I shall call.
And I've had the 10th spot before, Chad. Have you ever had the 10th
I feel
spot?
like I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of having the double tap.
Yeah, I like back-to-back.
$3.
It's a good way to stack a combo. So, getting back to the tanking, there's clearly a push by the league to shut it down, albeit Jesper is just taking advantage of the American tradition of tanking.
Yeah,
I do have to give Jesper credit. This was he tanked pretty masterfully. We've never really had somebody try that hard to tank, and I really think that's about as good as it could have been done. He was like this close to getting the 1st and 2nd pick. He's going to have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. I'm terrified. Except the only saving grace is the fact that Jesper historically busts his first couple of draft picks.
That's what happened last year.
That's what happened the year before that, too. Jesper has a bad history drafting the first. So, if you are a workhorse running back or a top-tier quarterback, look out and get your rehab set up in order.
So there's
Jesper's coming
some
for you.
consideration of making the last place person pay the buy-in of the regular season champ the next year, which I think is a pretty good idea.
I think that's a nice balance.
I like it. I was
like
so
that.
winning it.
I think it gives a little incentive or a little bonus to the person who wins the regular season, who often does not win the championship. And Troy, what did I say right before we started about talking over each other?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God, get out of my house. I want you out of my house, Troy. The camera can't even see your face right now. Do you realize you're on
I'm gonna
film?
go to your house right now, and then you can say that.
something stupid. Okay, thanks.
So, I think that strikes a nice balance. I don't think it's too harsh because there have been talk from some members of the league of just kicking out last place, which I hate that idea because I love our league of heels. I love every asshole among you, and I would hate
rivalry.
every rivalry and all the history. I would really hate to break up the magic and the chemistry, but there should be something more than just a basic monetary penalty, and I like that it gives a little bonus to who wins the regular season. Because right now that person gets nothing but bragging rights.
Let's get to the counterpoint over here.
Okay,
Sure.
so
I don't actually have a counterpoint. How much do we need for a quorum? Is it 6?
That is up to the commissioner entirely. Technically, we only need the commissioner to make changes.
That is very true, and there will be some sweeping changes coming this year. As the political climate has changed significantly, as God emperors are leading our country, I feel like as a commissioner, I also should be a God emperor.
those are my cards, bro.
Bring back
and
El
make some
Duce. I'll play for you. I got you here. He
It's
bets.
high.
Trust me, you want to bet this. Trust me, you want to bet.
I don't trust you with a 10-foot.
So do the opposite of what I say then. All right. Yeah, I want to bring back Emperor Chad from the first couple of seasons. We need a strong leader with who will make sweeping changes for the good of the league.
And we're going to have some roster expansion this year, getting back to our traditional size. There's been some consideration of adding in a super flex position, both on the offense and the defense. Of course, on the defensive side, that would not allow you to pick up a team defense.
However, it would include special teams, so you could have 3 kickers playing if you wanted to. And I like this idea a lot. I like the idea. This was my idea, like all good ideas. And I want to have a super flex position added that could be quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or tight end. And I think there are just not enough quarterbacks in the league for everybody to just play 3 quarterbacks.
We always still cap it at 4 per team.
Yeah, and then a defensive slash an independent an IDP slash special teams super flex on the defensive side. I think that'll bring us back up to 22 starters, 11 offense, 11 defense, special teams, as it should be. And I think that just really opens up a lot of possibilities. I am open to adding a roster spot or just taking a spot away from the bench for each of those spots. I'm open to either one of those. But I think that'll really add a lot of strategy. I think that will. I think it'll be fun.
Personally, I'm getting a little bit tired of having 2 kickers, and it might be time to consider bringing in a punter.
I would love that kick.
Why not both? Why not 2 kickers and a punter?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, especially if we're playing defensive super flex, you'd be able to bring in that.
But that takes
extra
out
kicker.
the slot, right? For
Which slot?
super flex.
That's
Omaha,
one
Ohio.
possibility. We could do a kicker, a punter, and a super flex. If we can do a punter in Yahoo, can we do that?
$2.
I'll look to make sure, but I have a feeling we can. I hope we can anyway.
What's
I like that.
Omaha,
I would be
Ohio.
absolutely in favor of doing a kicker, a punter, and a super flex.
Moving on, let's talk about some PPR related stuff. I know PPR is a hot button topic in our league. Some people want more PPR, others want less PPR. There's been a movement to bring PPR up to its full natural point, point per reception, as the saying goes. There's also been a movement to perhaps have a point per carry, or a PPRA, point per rushing attempt.
I think if we do that, if we're PPR, when we're recording every time we're rewarding every time someone merely touches the ball. In which case, we should be rewarding equally a carry, a rushing attempt, and we should be recording every
$5.
kickoff and punt return as well. So I think we should be a
PPPR?
PPPR, yeah, point per punt return.
10.
To me, that is fair and equal.
Shawn calls.
Now, is it something we should also do for
Go ahead and
kickoff
turn your hands
returns?
on.
A PP
KR?
KR?
So basically, we're talking about having a PPRRA PRKR.
Shawn has a.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
And I'm trying to think if there's something else. Passing
Round
attempts.
ace four.
Let's just throw that in there too. Why not? Passing
Pair of
attempts.
fives.
In case
So you're
anyone's
all in.
wondering,
Yeah,
this
you're all
episode
in.
is brought to you by the letter
Before
P.
the 10?
Before the 10.
P is for so many important things in life.
PP.
P is for Peyton Manning.
Shawn has.
P is for
Pickles.
Peyton
Ryan
Hillis.
has a
No,
scoop for
that's
that.
not his
Peyton
for
Hillis,
the
that's right.
side
It was?
and
Okay.
chop it up with me.
He made a Madden cover that one year.
That's right.
So
It's
you-
So you're
for
with 10 and so here's that.
Peyton.
and then chop
And then we
all
chop
that.
there
it
any other
because I
cases?
have the strange hand of it. Ace
I had
Not
ace.
that I can think of. So another topic that I'd really like to touch on. Yes?
Can we go back to the PPR there?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Let's go back to PPR.
Okay, so the discussion is we want.
Hold on. Come around here and face the camera.
The discussion is, should we extend PPR to its true saying of point per reception?
Yes.
Why?
Because if we're going to add rushing attempts as a thing, then I want to raise PPR.
I only want to add rushing attempts because we have PPR to make
So-
that equal.
Let me ask you this. How many receivers in a given game are going to catch a ball 20 times?
I believe 20 is the record, or is it 22? Terrell,
It's
what's
20 by Brandon Marshall of the Denver Broncos back in 2008.
Well, what's the average is the real question.
Probably-
The average
probably
is
eight,
probably like
7.
6.
I don't
Or
even
the
think
average.
I think 8 is too much.
Yeah, that's like the stud receivers get that much. But here's the thing. Here's my whole thing. If we're
Please.
going for realism, a reception in a vacuum does nothing to help a team win. A yard towards a goal helps. But you can, for example, I had a player score positive points last year when they had 1 reception for negative yards because
Did they score negative points?
No, they scored positive points, even though they lost yards for their team. They hurt their team,
Okay.
but they got points.
If
To
that
me,
play-
the way our league is done as a domination league, where we punish failure with the fumbles and the interceptions and the sacks, we should not reward.
I already have it. I already have it beat. I already have it
Go
beat.
ahead. Go ahead, Troy.
If that player does not catch that backward pass, then that player loses the fumble. There is now a fumble, and that
That would
quarterback
not be
loses
my
points.
argument. My argument
Yeah,
would
that's
be.
not how it works.
My argument would be.
If a player throws it behind,
He caught it, and then he was tackled, and then he ran backwards and was tackled for 2 yard, 3 yard loss.
okay, well
and he ended up
that's
gaining half a point.
that's
on
an
it.
aberration.
That might
My-
be regularity.
my
With
argument would
terrible
be-
running backs getting rushing attempts but losing yards.
Check.
Love me them scat backs.
So if you have a rushing attempt and the guy runs backwards 10 yards, I mean, what is it?
Then he loses. Well, that's what I only want rushing attempt points if we keep PPR.
feels like that's the same thing.
Exactly. That's why we should have the same. Sean isn't trying to say something.
Okay, let's make it a full point.
Look, my argument would be even if you're throwing a ball that goes to a guy for some sort of negative yardage, right? Chances are you're not going to be throwing to a guy for some meaningful loss of yards, right? You're not going to throw to a receiver or a running back and he's going to lose, more than
5.
5 yards.
Okay.
Right? But I would say probably even he's going to lose less than 3, right? So even if that guy loses that amount of yardage, he's still contributed to the game in the sense that the defense now has to play that short game. So look, maybe that's not worth a full point, but I would say it's worth the quarter of the point that we have now. I would make the same argument for rushing attempts. It still contributes to the game, even if it's not contributing yardage.
And that's why I'm okay with.
Short
I think
stack?
however many points we give for reception, we should all give an equal amount of points to rushing attempts.
I'm fine with that.
I am fine with that as well.
The ultimate goal here to make more points,
it's
more
wonderful.
scoring.
More
We
action.
should just host
More
the
action.
game here.
Perhaps since we've had an established league now for a couple of years of
That's your
adding
girlfriend, right?
some depth to our rosters and introducing a keeper player or multiple keeper players. And I say that this is the year that we'd want to do it, and in which case you'd be able to select ahead of time the drafted
I just had a
round in which you take your keeper or keep him for the next season.
So you'd select ahead of time, say whoever I pick this round, I get to keep next season.
That's a thought. I'm not super familiar with how keeper leagues work, so
Pretty sure you pick a round and then that round everybody picks a player and they have to keep them for X amount of time.
so there's a good way, especially to introduce keeper leagues, is we have a particular round. Perhaps I might suggest the second round. Do you not have any second round picks?
Can we bifurcate the vote in the sense that let's vote on keepers first, and then let's vote on whether to start keepers from last season
Yeah,
second.
that makes the most sense. We should make sure that
Thank you.
it's something we want to do to add all of them their keepers.
What is this?
Gameldansk. Hey Jesper.
Oh, Jesper.
Thanks, Jesper.
Dansk Mud.
Look at that.
Oh, it tastes like that year in Vegas.
I'm just gonna
God, I-
sniff for that.
That
Ooh,
was a good memory.
Ooh, boy.
That was
What you guys drink in Denmark? Oh, you big.
Oh, well, it's either that or the Danish tulip wine or whatever they do over there.
Oh, that's kind of like honey. That's actually not too bad.
I like it.
That is nice. Yeah,
You know what it
That's
tastes like?
sweeter than I thought it was
It
gonna be.
reminds me of my Seattle Seahawks beating the Green Bay Packers in the
Give us a little
NFC Championship
splash.
game.
Give us a little fancy cup there.
Yeah, and that's how I first tasted Gameldansk was when I bet Jesper that the Seahawks would beat the Packers. which they did, and to go to the Super Bowl in a thrilling comeback. And at Vegas, the following year at the draft, he brought me, it was a bottle of fine American bourbon versus whatever they drink in Denmark. And he brought me Gamle Dansk, which at that point we had already been drinking for very heavily for a solid 3 days straight. And so then when we had this this very powerful tasting, high alcohol liqueur,
Same game.
oh my God, it was.
What did you
Something
plan to send, Jesper, out of curiosity?
Something that was not heavily taxed.
It was gonna, American bourbon,
Cincinnati.
it all depended on how much money I had. If I were to, now that I'm a little more financially solvent, I would have sent him Booker No, the finest bourbon made by man. Back then, I probably would have sent him either Makers or Wild Turkey. It was a solid mid-shelf. Because I was a substitute teacher, did not have a lot of money then. What do you think? Let's tell Jesper. Jesper, if you have a chance to drink American bourbon, you should drink what? Shawn, go.
Well, my favorite American bourbon is Jim Beam.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. He says Jim Beam. Ryan, you've been quiet. If Jesper's gonna have some American bourbon, what should he have?
I like Maker's Mark.
There we go.
Easy one for me. It's got to be Blanton's.
That's good.
Round bottle, horse on top. Blanton's is the way to go.
Booker's no. It's
Just
more
like
expensive, but it's worth it.
Just
Booker's
like
no.
I like my women, I'll take any of it.
All right.
Whoa.
There we go.
Actually, I think that's something we're going to need to streamline ahead of the draft where we'll have a quorum. I'm looking at you people that aren't here. We need like one more person to show up at the draft so that we can form a quorum. Let's have the Captain Cook, guys.
Look at you, Josh.
The fucking
And
Captain Cook.
straight.
Josh, rent a room at the Captain Cook, bring up some of your fancy prostitutes, and we'll have a good old time.
Oh, you know what? We were just talking about how
Sorry,
after the draft,
ladies of the evening.
we were just talking about after the draft how we wanted to have a poker game. It would be so great if we wouldn't have to go somewhere else. If we could just, we leave the library at the Captain Cook,
Or just
and we could immediately go to Josh's room. Well, first we go to the Crow's Nest, have a little food, some scotch.
We got these.
Then we all go to
roster
Josh's
baits-
room.
Roster baits.
Oh yes, right.
We got
there.
these
Roster
gold
a
cards.
little bit,
room, man.
and then we fucking play poker until fucking wee
We're
hours.
making the assumption that Shua, being a man of class that he is just going to rent a room that weekend at the Captain Cook. Yeah, that's just our assumption.
Penthouse.
Penthouse.
Look, we will all help you out by appreciating that penthouse.
That's right.
And we will also, I will buy you a drink.
Yeah.
I will buy you a drink at the Crow's Nest, which has one of the best scotch listed, whiskey lists in all of town. I'll buy you whatever you want.
I can't wait to roster bait over a nice 25-year-old scotch.
Oh yes, looking at that view. Oh my God.
Or just a
25th floor.
25-year-old would be good too.
I can't wait to cry into my scotch.
Actually, based on some of my previous draft
Troy's gonna be
performances, I think
pissed
there will
someday.
be a lot of crying into my scotch.
I can't remember what it was. Chad here last year lost a bet about his wardrobe at the draft next year. So
Give him
Fucking
some
Mike
money.
Gillislee.
oh,
3
Rex
touchdowns in the
Burkhead.
first game and then stops playing.
I love me some Rex
We just take
Burkhead.
off his thing.
So
5.
he doesn't know what he's gonna be wearing yet,
Okay.
but he will be shocked when he finds out.
So minus 5.
I'm just giving
Are
you.
you, is that an innuendo? Yeah.
Hmm? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're wearing a San Diego Chargers jersey.
Los Angeles.
Ryan, you have never owed me
Fuck
money.
me.
No, fuck that shit. It's a same. I'll be cold. I'll
Sam's
be
dog.
long dead in the cold, cold ground before I recognize the Los Angeles fucking Chargers. The San Diego now and San Diego
Oh,
forever.
Jesus.
Philip
Out of hand.
J. Is their quarterback?
What does J stand for?
Just J. J-A-Y.
Jerome.
Jesus? He's very religious. He has like 12 kids.
Jerome. I like Jerome.
I think Jesus. I think he should be.
Ooh,
like,
that's an interesting over-under we should do for this next
Couldn't
year.
it be Jesus?
Kids that Philip Rivers has, interceptions thrown.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a good
Like
one.
an over/under for
How many kids does he have? He has
6?
13 or
8?
something. He has a lot.
Too many?
He's got probably that quiverful movement. Keep your quiver full for God.
Any interest in
That's how I
guessing how the first round goes?
Yeah, let's do
Presuming that everybody does in fact pick. First, before we get down to that, let's set a little over/under at QBs.
Chuck.
So we got over/under and QBs taken in the first round.
I think an over/under of 4.5 would be the good over/under.
4.5 is solid. I'm gonna agree with that 4.5 because that's the exact number I was thinking.
I'm on it.
We've done this show for a while together now. We're starting to look alike too.
Well, we've also seen a few drafts as well, so I know how that goes.
We've been through a couple.
$2. What do you do?
So we got that first over under. Let's do one more over under, which is running backs in the first round.
Ooh.
4.5.
2.5.
Oh, I'm right there with Troy. I'm thinking 2.5.
2.5. Really?
Yeah.
Well, we can't have 4.5 because that would be then 9 picks in the first round easily.
With no
Well, look
wide
at this. Well,
receivers.
normally like wide receiver in the first round. I was gonna say 2.
Sure, and that'll be the
2.5.
next one. I want to do the big 3 offensive players for the over under.
I mean, well, you're taking Gronk with the #1 pick. We all know that.
I wasn't even going to put
he's
tight ends on
taking
this
J.J.
particular
Watt.
board. This is the rare year that I probably won't be taking Gronk in the first round. So 2.5 for running backs. How about over under for wide receivers?
So if that's
It's
6,
first
7.
round.
That'd be so that
Was
this
that
adds up to 3. But that's
I'd
you
say
wide receivers in the
3.5.
first round.
Chad?
3.5.
Just
Three?
in the interest of inclusion, can you take over-unders from all of us? And then we'll
Yeah. I just want
We
to
thought you
set
guys were
the
busy.
line and we'll have everyone pick it.
3.5.
edit this out.
Oh, this will all get edited out.
Indiana
So,
Just like your penis.
Wide receivers, do we keep them at the same
Oh,
as
Indiana
running backs?
Hold'em.
2.5?
I think we're gonna get more running backs and wide receivers. Okay, let's do it again. Let's go 2.5.
Shit, I think I'd say 1.5 for.
$2.
I mean, I guess Des Bryant's not going in the first round this year.
That's
He might.
6. That's 8.
If
That's
he
9.5.
If he signs with the Browns, Ravens, or
That's good.
Pittsburgh.
All right, so over under quarterbacks 4.5.
I'm gonna go with the over on that. I think the big 3 are gonna go in the first round for sure. So you got your Brady, Breeze, and Rodgers in some order.
Okay.
I think Russell Wilson has been
A
solid for
first
long
round?
enough, and I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna go in that first round. And just historically, a Matt Ryan or a Matt Stafford,
Wow.
or someone like that, or an Andrew
Folds
Luck.
the
Not this
four.
year,
Did I?
another quarterback
Oh
kind of comes
my
out there
God.
too. Someone, Jameis Winston
Yeah,
came out
that's
last year in the
not
first
that
round.
I know.
There's one other
second
person. I think 5.
Second round, I took Mike
Needs to
Evans.
change.
for.
Right.
If anyone's following the Andrew Luck
gets
Twitter, where he's
No,
a
I'm just
Confederate soldier,
Yes.
amazing. Like, if you're looking for a Twitter follow the
Well, it's called
Captain Andrew Luck.
That's right.
Dearest mother, today I again report for basic training. I feel I am more well prepared for the battles ahead than I have been for some time. I shall fire my sidearm in abundance, and it will be marvelous. My heart is glowing, my neck beard full, and my resolve strong. Andrew.
Troy, over under
I'll
4.5
give you 5.
quarterbacks first round.
I'll give you 5, add 5.
Under.
Under. Okay, what are you thinking? What are you thinking with that? What's your thought process there?
Hold on.
I don't have a thought process. It's more just a guess.
You just say
Okay.
numbers. Okay.
Sean, over under 4.5 quarterbacks in the first round.
Laban with the lady, the nice with the quarterbacks.
His reaction makes me think 4.5 is a good number to have.
Yeah,
It.
that's right.
Under.
Under. Ooh, what are you thinking with under?
The quarterback whisperer goes under.
I think probably exactly 4 are gonna go. Actually, I think there might be 3.
Okay, which ones?
I think Rodgers will go. I think Brady will go, and then I think either Breeze or Dak Prescott will go.
Dak Prescott. Oh, but Josh doesn't have a first round pick though.
we
Okay,
have
never mind. Solid under.
we have old man Pat picking in the 9 spot. Could be Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh yeah.
Pat's-
Oh,
Pat's
yeah,
gonna-
because Brown and Bell could be gone by that
If
point.
Brown
No, he won't do
if
it.
Brown is available, he is going to take Brown.
Yeah, it's just
There's no way Brown drops to 9. Brown hasn't dropped to 9 like ever. And
It's also a quarterback-heavy league. I don't know.
if Browns are at 7. I'm
Ryan,
taking
what do you
Brown.
think? Over under 4.5 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
Okay, who else is out there?
I'm also going with the under.
Ooh.
I like the under.
Who do you think's gonna go in the first round? Which quarterbacks? You got that second pick. You're gonna have your pick of the litter.
Typical ones like Breeze. Brady. I feel like Jared Goff could be a good pick too.
That's crazy town.
Now hold on here.
Just because the Rams did really good last year.
In the first round?
I'm all in.
If some people are like
$22.
quarterback.
Are you coming with that?
Ryan, let me ask you something.
I'm gonna
Now
be high as fuck.
we've seen historically you have quite the penchant
22.
for taking Andrew Luck early.
$22 raise.
Andrew Luck?
Yeah, and we remember. I think we all remember when you took Andrew Luck in the first round.
Oh, I do remember that
Yeah.
year.
No, we were in Vegas, but you weren't. But we had a very passionate phone call. This is one of those great league moments. This is why we can't change the chemistry of the league, because this is one of those things that's just like one of these bonding moments.
A behind-the-scene league moment.
Which is we all know about at this point. But if we
Conference
don't,
call, the FaceTime call.
we were all so scared of Berger getting Andrew Luck 2 years in a row that we called Ryan
8, 10.
to talk him out of drafting Le'Veon Bell with the #1 pick and drafting Andrew Luck, the #1. And Andrew Luck
Where's the
proceeded to have his
five?
shoulder explode.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
just
was
right
that
out of the
year.
gate.
Yeah,
It's 10 total.
that was great. That was
Oh,
great.
okay.
I dislike that year.
Right, so circling back to over-under and quarterbacks, I am going to go over.
Oh,
I'm going to join you, Sam, with the overs.
I
Being
like
a
it.
person that is currently picking in the first spot,
I owe
it
$5
only
to the
behooves me to
boss.
pick a quarterback.
Can you say that one more time?
It behooves me to pick a quarterback with my first selection, since I had such a piss-poor quarterback trio last year.
Let
The
me sweat it.
famous
Let me sweat the
Jameis
river
Anus,
Let me sweat the river.
Andy Dalton, and some other
2 points?
terrible player.
AJ
You were right
McCarron.
twice?
Could have been AJ
Too late,
McCarron. I had Jared Goff for a hot minute
You
and I
already
cut
swept
him.
the
That worked
card.
out
We gotta
super
run
well
another
for me.
I'd say like
Tell you what.
the quarterback situation for me
This
was such a roller coaster last year
I'm-
because I had Aaron Rodgers
and we'll
with my
recommend
#2
for
spot that I wheeled and dealed to get.
Aaron
And
Rodgers
then
did
he
not fall
fucking
farther than third this year.
and then he fucking dies, you know. And then I had like cobbled together bits and pieces that randomly had the best years of their career. So I had Alex Smith and Case Keenum, who both overperformed last year. So it was like a wild quarterback ride for me last year.
Yeah, a lot of value for a terrible quarterback.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
second
would
place.
be surprised. I mean, I guess Ryan could be the big shake-up player there, but I think quarterbacks
Oh, yeah.
go the first 3 positions.
I think if we're going to see a surprise, I think it's going to come from Ryan. I think at the #2 spot, and Ryan thinks he thinks things kind of diagonal to the rest of us. He's had a history of picking like
likes
surprise
running backs.
players.
So, Chad, if you think that 3 quarterbacks are going to go in those first 3 spots, who are you picking with the #1 pick?
Well, one of the big 3.
It doesn't
And
matter
then
if
you
you
go
go
second?
because
You,
you're going
don't,
first.
you don't have to hide it. You're going first. You can just tell us.
I don't actually know. I haven't done the research yet. I'm not sure who I'm picking
Go
first.
If
If
you
you're-
would say 3, like your 3 options with 3.
Well, obviously Rodgers, Brady, and Breeze. However, I think Wilson is a solid contender.
In the first round?
I think Wilson goes in the first round.
Or Jason.
I got
You're
4.5
not going
quarterbacks
running
going in the first round. I have Wilson in my 4.
Wilson was #1 quarterback last year.
I am willing to put him
Was he?
into that top A slot of quarterbacks because of his rushing yards and touchdowns.
5 cards.
and the
And
way
his
he
team's
kicks it up
gonna
and
be
in.
terrible this
He
year.
always
too.
kicks it. I know the Seahawks are gonna. My beloved Hawks are
He's
gonna
gonna throw the-
fucking
he's gonna
die.
throw the
They're,
ball a lot.
oh, they're terrible. But you know, first of all, he's got Brandon Marshall this year, which that worked out great for Eli Manning last year.
Brandon Marshall, man.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
always
so
forgetting Brandon
And
Marshall.
Second of all, here's the thing: Russell Wilson
Brandon Marshall.
Always forgetting about
always
Sarah
kicks it
Marshall.
up for the fantasy playoffs. The last 6 games of the season,
He just has
he
hidden
does great.
fantasy value. He goes in the first round, especially because
How does
there's
that
no
make any
way
sense? I'm the
Wilson
small one.
falls farther than
I'm the
7.
big one.
And you know who takes him?
You're wearing a Wilson jersey.
Hustling, bustling, hair tussling, man muscling, cattle rustling.
Can't win shit.
Bruno Mars. You know. I think Shawn and I were talking. We agreed that Russell Wilson was developed in a lab that a marketing company has somewhere.
Does Matt Ryan go again in the first round? I'm not sure about that
I
one.
don't know about
I
that.
get $5.
Sean's picking a little high. He might not grab.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you who Chad's going to pick
Flush it
#1.
on
I'm
the
going to
top.
tell you all right now. I'm going to tell you who it is going to be, and you're going to be like, "Oh my God, Sam, you're a prophet. This is amazing."
We got that.
Here's the person that Chad is going to pick #1. Are you ready?
Yes.
Todd Gurley. Here's why.
So the other 2.
Rodgers is coming off an injury. Brady has no one to throw to. Breeze has lost a step. There's not a clear #1 of those. Without a clear decision, he's going to go. Now, Chad's MO is to always pick the player that will let him win the position battle.
Sure.
Gurley was scoring 40 points a game in the playoffs last year.
Yep, you're right.
Gurley is #1 running back off the board. Gurley is who he goes with #1. He also likes to throw a little throw everybody for a loop from time to
I'll give
time.
you 10.
Chad picks Gurley #1. That's my hot take.
Solid pick.
Hot
I
take.
did recently pick up from a Seahawks fan who lost a bet to me, a diehard Seahawks fan. I bet a jersey and made him give me a Todd Gurley jersey after Todd
This
Gurley
is all on
dropped
Sam's dime.
2 or 3 touchdowns on him. Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, well,
We
I
should
mean,
make a Blair Walsh
got
jersey.
to. Like, especially Yeah, oh, the Blair Walshers. I can't believe the internet fucked me on that one. I mean, I guess I can. But so, on that topic, 2.5 running backs in the first round. What do you think? Over under?
Okay, if I'm thinking 5 quarterbacks are gonna go. I think
5?
I think over on the running backs. Yeah, I think I think 5 quarterbacks go in the first round. I think 3 running backs. I think it's gonna be Gurley, Bell, and honestly, both Zeke and David Johnson. I think are first rounders.
Sure.
3 cards.
So, boom,
Yeah.
there's 4.
Yeah, there's my 4.
Zeke?
Oh yeah,
Who the hell is
Never
that?
mind.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Shit, throw 'em back, because now I was going to change the game.
Troy, before you deal out this next hand or while you're shuffling, how many running backs do you think are going to go in the first round?
2.
2.
Oh,
Which-
running backs or
running backs. Yeah, we're on to running backs.
2.5 is the
4.
Okay, which 4?
I think that Berger's going to take David Johnson.
Yeah.
I think Pat's going to take Bell.
Checks out.
Do you
That's
think
two.
Bell's gonna fall that far?
I think that...
If Bell falls that far.
I think
It
Gurley's
means he gets
gonna-
picked in the first
I think
round.
Gurley's going to go in the top 6. And
I think so too. We got Jesper picking twice.
Let's see. Who would be my 4th running back?
God, I don't want to give
I think
Jesper and
picks
Rodgers that.
Jesper's gonna pick a quarterback, and then he's gonna pick a running
back.
back. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. And Shawn will be left with. Shawn loves his glory boy receivers.
Jesper
You do.
is.
You love your glory boy receivers.
I know. I'm looking at you,
I
Jesper.
know.
You're crossing
You
your
have an
fingers
injury
that you get either
I think-
Rodgers or Brady.
And I think Devonta.
That's who you're looking
I
for.
think
bud. I know
Devonta
it.
Freeman will go in the first round as well.
Devonta Freeman.
Yeah.
Really? You're going number 10. You can control that. Yeah.
I will take the over as well.
You convinced by Troy's points?
Absolutely not, but I will take the I will take the over independent of anything Troy said here today.
Okay.
All right. I mean, you went under on quarterbacks. That makes sense. Ryan, what about you? What do you think? 2.5
3 or
quarterbacks.
4?
Do you think the big 4 running backs? Do you think the big 4 running backs are taken in the first round? Just
Yes.
shaking his head.
All right, let's run run it. How many boards do you want to do?
All 4 of those. There might even be a 5th taken
Huh,
too.
wow.
I'll do 1 board.
We
Saquon
gotta-
Barkley might even go in the first, for all I know.
We have a consensus
Ooh, I like
pick
your
here
man.
that it's going to be over on running backs. I guess we set that way too low. Damn, I feel bad about that.
Adjust your draft strategies
I got a pair
accordingly.
of 3s with a 87.
Boy, we could have made that a cool 3.5 easy. All right, well, then I have a feeling I know how wide receivers are going to wrap up here. We got an over-under at 2.5, and I bet everyone here is going to say under. Does anyone have over 2.5 running wide receivers in the first?
I do.
You did?
3.
Over what?
Okay, here's
Troy
the,
thinks all right.
here's the question. Okay, everybody knows Brown is going to go in the first.
Sure, of
But
course.
who's the number 2 and number 3?
OBJ.
That's hard. Oh, you think Odell?
I think that somebody takes Odell.
Des Bryant.
We've
You
seen
got
it.
you got Julio, you got DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, which one of them is number 2? Like, it's really hard to pick a number 2.
I would say that
receiver, I think.
I would say
Gordon.
that Hopkins goes based on his quarterback being in play.
Take it from me, the Atlanta Falcons are an extremely volatile team. I would choose DeAndre Hopkins before I would choose.
Which
I'll
he is-
point out to you, though, they are not on Hard Knocks this season, which I bet means they have a better season than last.
Who is on Hard Knocks?
Browns.
Browns.
It's about fucking time,
I
am
know,
I
right?
right?
Boys, if anyone wants to come over when they pump that show out, I have HBO. So
I have never actually seen that show.
We watch that show religiously here to get ready for the preseason. It's cost me
What-
many
that's on top.
seasons.
What day does it go?
I want to say it's Tuesday.
I mean, do you have it streamed, or do you have it?
Yeah.
Because it could replace BattleBots for us.
Oh,
It could
sure,
be our,
it could,
be
yeah.
our Monday BattleBot
Is
thing.
everybody?
Well,
Or we
when
can make a
Battlebots-
Monday Night Football thing start once BattleBots. Oh, by the way, if you are not watching BattleBots, you are not living life to the fullest, my friends.
I think it's only 4 weeks. It's 4 or 5 weeks long. Hard Knocks. It's not a particularly long show, but it hits. It's HBO.
I've seen some clips, but I've
Or
never
an
actually watched the
arrow.
show.
Sure, and we can always double down with episodes too if everyone's hanging out because old seasons are good.
Okay.
Here's another question
Just
I have for you.
call.
Over under, guys,
Way to talk
on
about
when the
everybody.
first non-offensive player goes. This has been very volatile over the years.
It
It's been as
it
early as the
absolutely
3rd
has.
round and as late as like the 12th round.
4th.
Didn't I pick
Fourth
JJ in the
round?
first round?
You never picked. No, you picked JJ
took
in the
JJ
second
in the
round.
third
No,
round.
it was the end of the
I
3rd.
went Gronk and JJ.
You went Gronk and JJ?
Check.
No, I could have sworn that was the end of the 3rd. You had the 10th pick, and you picked it was at the end of the 3rd round. That you picked Gronk. Then you picked JJ.
You're right. I think third's the highest I've gone.
That's the earliest we were gone. I normally kind of plan for like the 6th, 7th round when the first linebacker goes.
Oh, I was gonna say fifth.
I
There's
don't
usually a
know.
linebacker that goes in the 5th round. I feel like.
It's always either you or me or Berger who picks it first, though. Who
Another
picks the
card.
defensive player first.
I had
Yeah,
a-
Berger caught on to
I
your and
had
I's
Queen Nine.
game.
Well, I did that thing when I was
I'm
That's how bad I run.
I'm
That's how I'm running right now.
notoriously picking a defender earlier.
This is gonna
than
be
everyone.
terrible footage, by the way. We're not gonna be able to hear a word we're saying. The poker game while we did this was a bad idea.
No, I think it's great. It'll just cut out big chunks of it. It'll work
Do
out.
you want us to like put
It's
this on pause and come back to the thing?
No, it's too late
well,
now.
it's not like we haven't said that 10,000 times.
I offered it.
Right, you
I've
ain't-
said stop playing
It's
like
too late.
over and over, and you're like, no, we're gonna do it again.
No, we're just gonna
Uh,
talk
too late.
over each
That's the
other.
effect.
Anyway, I did a thing before you picked the year before
Alright,
you
you're
picked
taking
JJ.
off? Well, let's just wrap it up then.
Sorry.
Ryan,
It's
Ryan.
fine. It's
Wait,
fine.
hold on. We
We've
need some
been
words from
doing
the
this for
champion.
over a half an hour.
Champion,
Thank you.
Ryan. I want you to look right at that camera, and I want you to tell us what does it take to be a champion.
I don't know really. I
It
just
starts with
kind of, played. I don't know. After so many years of being shitty in this league, I feel like last year I finally did good, and I was like beating you guys on the wire, picking up key players during like weeks where they exploded. So that's how I won.
So basically, it was a fluke.
No, it was California love.
Yeah.
This kid is a California football fan, and it was a huge year for Todd Gurley and Jared Goff. That's a huge
Fuck
stag.
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley had an
Fuck
amazing,
you, Todd Gurley.
amazing
That
playoffs.
was
Like
it.
the most
I mean-
epic playoffs ever by a running
And then
back.
What does
Jared
Todd
Goff,
Gurley have to do
like-
with fucking
I think
He won a
California?
championship.
I think
So
Chad
like
had
California.
Jared
He plays
Goff.
in Los Angeles.
I
Same
thought that
here.
was you said Jared Goff, and I thought it was
Oh, St. Louis, right? That's right.
Jared-
That's St. Louis Rams.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, Jared. I mean, that's
We
the
had-
stat.
Chad had Jared Goff.
I
no
did, I
problem, and then
drafted
picked him
Jared
on the
Goff,
wire.
and I
I mean,
dropped
basically,
him.
Yeah, that's
just
the process.
picking
All.
up the key players that when I needed them.
Here's what I want to know.
That fucking
Every year.
hurricane, Jameis
Okay,
Winston
who's
got
the
hurt
surprise
in
quarterback
21.
this year? Who's the surprise quarterback who ends up being like a top 15 quarterback that everyone writes off, doesn't even get drafted, but gets picked up off the wire? Which quarterback?
Tyrod Taylor.
Andrew Luck.
Check.
Sean?
Sorry.
Who's the surprise quarterback this year? Jared Goff was a big surprise last year. Nobody drafted him. He got picked up off the wire, ended up being really good. Who is it this year?
I think I drafted Goff last year. I either drafted him or picked him up immediately. I think
I
no,
checked.
I didn't draft him.
What
I
about
picked him
Bradford?
up off
I
the
wanna
way
think
from
about
where.
Bradford.
Oh yeah, Bradford started in Arizona.
Yeah.
What about Big Dick Nick?
Or when Carson Wentz comes back. Oh, that's what I had too last year too.
You have to win your.
I'll tell you who my guy is.
Oh yeah, Carson Wentz was huge.
Baker Mayfield.
I like
it.
that. I like
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's
I'm gonna do you one
Except
better.
Troy
I'm gonna do you one
picked
better.
Tyrod just a second
Lamar
ago.
Jackson.
Boys, I'm
calling it.
I'm seeing an over/under bet here between Tyrod and Baker Mayfield.
Oh, points or
No,
games
I like
played?
that.
Games
Ooh,
started.
I like that
Games
one.
start. Ooh, wait.
points.
Tyrod.
Games played.
Tyrod starts.
Jersey bet?
9 games.
That's a
Or
good
something
one
else.
actually. Games played.
Tyrod starts.
It's
Do you
got
want a
to
jersey bet, or do you want
be a bet for a Browns jersey.
Do you have? I was about to say, do you
This
have a Browns
has to be
jersey?
the Browns
This
jersey
has to be a
bet.
Browns jersey. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. Hey.
Hang on.
Do you like
How
Tyrod?
about
or
the other
do
thing
you
we
like
could? I
Baker
want to do a
Blackjack,
cigar bet
bitch.
this year too. But no.
Let's
Okay.
go. You put up 11.
God damn it.
I
Troy,
get
you
another
can't
card,
manage.
motherfucker.
All right.
Put another card up.
Okay.
That's the third card.
I'll
Give
pick
me-
if you
hey,
want.
me.
We're gonna edit this out
This
here.
is a
I want
low
to pick
game.
this. I do want to pick this. Guys,
Okay,
who wants to get in on the Browns jersey bet? Baker
is it?
Mayfield versus Tyrod Taylor. Who gets more points at the end of
Fantasy points.
Fantasy
yeah,
points
that's
in our league
of
at the
course,
end of the year.
fantasy points.
Yeah, I'm in that.
Out.
That's the
Out.
bet that I'm in.
Out.
Who has the most fantasy value? Tyrod Taylor.
I'm in that.
But I do
Really?
like the action.
I like that
Yeah.
too.
I'm
I tell you what,
in
head
that.
coach, I will bet a cigar on that one. Anybody want to bet a cigar on that
No,
one?
jersey bets.
Who do you got?
Don't be a puss. I got Tyrod Taylor.
I will take Tyrod Taylor as well.
No, you're not.
He's got the job until he screws up.
I already talked
You
Tyrod.
like?
That's what I
Tyrod's
like.
gonna
Took
keep it.
I already took him. Don't be a bitch. I took Tyrod Taylor. You
I like
can't have
Tyrod.
it.
I've always
Sean
liked
already
Tyrod
said
Taylor.
Baker
No, you haven't. You've never drafted him. He's never
You
been on
said,
your
you said
team.
Baker as a surprise.
Out.
Okay. I say Lamar Jackson. Okay.
I know.
I say Lamar Jackson takes over for Joe Flacco by week 8.
I will take that bet.
I'll take that bet as well.
By
Cigar?
week 8? Ooh,
Yeah.
That's a good
Lamar
one.
Jackson starts the game
That's
by week 8.
Without injury. Without injury.
No, it just starts the game.
I just said starts again. That's
Because
all I
that's,
said.
that's the big thing about Flacco. Flacco's good, but if he's running a whole bunch, you could blow that knee out again.
Okay,
He
tell your
slides
girlfriend I said
terribly.
hello.
If anyone watches Flacco slide, it's horrible.
I need something to eat.
Good to see you, man.
Champ guy.
Good to see you. Are you taking the trophy?
No, it's staying here. We got a draft,
Feels so good. It feels so good. Like against your skin. It's awesome.
Oh, where's the burger? Actually,
Oh yeah, we gotta do some more shit to that burger.
I thought it was
it's
sitting
in
on.
there. I think it's in there.
I thought it was sitting on the table. I went looking for it to bring it in the
It's yours now?
shot, but
I don't know.
Always.
It's in your guys' heads now.
It's always serious.
I'm gonna stop the video. We got about 40 minutes of footage.
All right, what else
there's
do we got?
there's got to be 10
You guys
minutes of
can-
quality footage.